and welcome to the 11th episode of Join Us at the Table. My name is Brandon Sage.
And my name's Albanie. And today we have the pleasure of speaking with Katharine Rondthaler, our very own Santa Clara Forage Garden manager. So Katharine, welcome onto our little show. Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be involved with the Forage Garden on campus?
Sure. So I studied environmental studies and biology at UC Santa Cruz. And then I later went on to get my MS in Sustainable Food Systems from Green Mountain College. And along the way, I was working in organic farming and also doing some environmental education. And when I found my way to Santa Clara University, I was really excited. It was basically like my dream job to work with students and to grow food and to educate about our food system.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So maybe could you go on to explain some of the ways that the garden is trying to help inspire students or connect them more with the source of their food or be more mindful of their consumption habits?
Sure. Yeah, so we have a number of ways that students can get involved at the Forge. One of the main things is actually learning how to grow food. And so students can do that either by dropping in to our drop-in volunteer hours or taking an internship with us or a student apprenticeship. We have students that work with us for at least a year and get really kind of the deep dive hands-on skill set of how to grow food. And then on the academic side, we work with lots of different classes across many different departments to come out to the Forage Garden and get a chance to learn about sustainability and agriculture through the working in the garden. And then we also have the Forage Garden Club, which is kind of a more fun way for students to engage in the garden. The Forage Garden Club hosts a lot of cooking events and programs, crafting, taking materials that we're growing in the garden and playing around with them. They've done things like natural tie-dye making using cabbage and different flowers that we've grown in the garden to kind of play around with. So things like that. And then we also offer a few of our own courses. We have a few classes under the Forage Garden that focus on urban agriculture, working in the community, and also getting a chance to learn how to cook and prepare food and connecting by cooking and eating food together.
Nice. I know I've had the pleasure of visiting the Forage Garden for a couple classes and events, and it's always been wonderful. Yeah. So we saw that the Forge recently got organic certified. First of all, congratulations. Could you tell us a little bit about the organic certification process and what it means to be certified?
Yeah, so the organic certification, we worked with CCOF as our certifier, and basically the process, we've been practicing organic practices since the inception of the garden 11 years ago, but it's really about kind of documenting what we're doing to demonstrate that we're following the organic standards. So it was a lot of paperwork and a lot of kind of creating systems for us to document, what are our soil care practices, what are we planting, when, where are our seeds coming from, what's happening post-harvest. So it's really kind of a tracking process that you're looking at from kind of start to finish of everything that's growing in the garden. The reason we decided to become certified organic is we really believe in the certification. Organic farms are less likely to create fertilizer and pesticide issued runoff into our environment. Farm workers are less exposed to harmful chemicals. So we felt like by getting certified organic, we were able to speak to those issues with a little bit more firsthand experience. And diversified small-scale farms are doing a lot in building the ecology around the food system. So not just growing food, but also providing a space for pollinators and other beneficial insects, and actually regenerating the land and building soil.
Interesting. Yeah, it's great to hear your perspective on it because I've heard a lot of different people and different takes and how people say they were organic from the beginning, but the certification is such a hassle. Sometimes they don't even go through the process or it's too much of a cost. So that's awesome that the Forge was able to get that official certification.
Yeah, I think
So
okay.
go ahead.
I think it helped us improve our general practices, and record keeping is always a good thing to follow, and it helps us kind of be able to look back at what we've done in the previous year and make choices about how we want to change in the following year. So it's a good thing, good process to go through.
Great to hear. So I guess if you could tell us a little bit about the Adopt a Bed program. So we know the Center for Food Innovation and Entrepreneurship has a bed at the garden. So we're just wondering if you could give us a little update on the CFIE bed since it's been so long since anyone's visited the Forge, and maybe tell us a little bit about that program.
Sure, yeah. So the Adopt a Bed program is a way for either academic departments across the university or individuals can kind of support the forage garden and get a chance to kind of work in the garden and sort of be more involved. So so we have a number of beds that people can adopt, and that's a 3-year commitment. And then during that 3 years, so for example, CFE came out and planted your bed, and we coordinated on what you guys were interested in growing. And I know CFIE wanted to grow, a diversity of different things and do a lot of intercropping in the bed. And so in the springtime, we had, I think, about 7 different plants growing in that bed altogether that was going to support an event that should have happened in the spring, but due to the pandemic had to be canceled. And right now your bed is looking great. We've got tomatoes and peppers, and then we had some intercropping in there earlier in the season where we had lettuce intercropped between the tomato plants. But as the lettuce grows, we harvest it, and then the tomatoes basically take up that space that was that they need, but we're able to get a little bit more out of the bed. So yeah, your bed is doing great. I can share some photos with you guys, and you guys can put those up here on the.
That'd be awesome. And that food is going to be donated, right?
Yes. So once the pandemic hit, we had to cancel our weekly farm stand. So normally we have a donation-based farm stand every Friday, and it's open to anyone in the community can come and pick up produce from us. But now we have transitioned that program, and we're doing something called Resilience in a Box, where we're putting together 22 boxes for families in need in the downtown San Jose community. So, and then we deliver those boxes each week. And in addition to the Resilience in a Box program, we're also donating to Bronco Pantry for SCU students and a local women's shelter. So that's where our produce is going, and the produce that is in the CFIE bed is also going into those produce boxes.
Nice. That's amazing. Thank you so much on behalf of you and the Forge for helping the community like that. That's really great. So you mentioned the food donation and then some virtual interns. How has anything else changed with the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, we've kind of transitioned to really focused on this produce donation program. So a lot of our time has been figuring out how to best support that, and then preparing for fall. So we're hoping to be able to actually open up for volunteer hours in the fall. We will see if that happens. There's kind of still a lot of unknowns, But we're hoping to be able to be a space on campus that students can come and engage because we are outdoors, which is one of the advantages that we have. And yeah, I mentioned we do have some virtual interns we have 4 virtual interns working with us right now, and their position is culinary curators. And so they're actually cooking recipes each week in their home kitchens and coming up with different recipe ideas. And then we're sharing that through our social media. We're putting those recipes into the resilience boxes. And then we're also bringing those to Bronco Pantry. So we're trying to make the most out of this virtual time and still provide some engaging experiences for students.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So you kind of mentioned most things, but we're just wondering if you have any other ways that for students to get involved if they're interested in sustainable food systems or gardening and are looking, I know there's volunteer or some other ways, but is there anything else that comes to your mind for students to get involved?
Yeah, I think the main ones to get involved at the Forge are come to our volunteer hours, join the Forge Garden Club, take a class with us, or apply for an internship or apprenticeship. Those are kind of the main avenues. We're always open to collaborative work. If there's a student group or club that wants to partner with us on an event or program, we're always open to that. We also work with lots of students on student projects. So if there's something that comes up in one of your classes and you see the Forge being a fit for that, you can always reach out to me, and I'm happy to help out with that. So yeah.
Great.
Sweet. I'm glad to hear that hopefully volunteer hours will be back in the fall. Even though I graduated, I'll definitely try to make my way out. So thank you for teaching us so much about the Forge and what you do. Do you have any final remarks to students who are interested in sustainable gardening or anything related to the Forge?
I would say start somewhere. So if you're interested in sustainable gardening, there's lots of things that you can do right now, even with just a little windowsill. We have some videos on how to make your own sprouts on YouTube, or an herb garden. There's lots of ways to kind of start small and engage with your food. Check out your local farmers markets and support local farmers. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Catherine.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.